Why do you want me to take the blame for your violation? If it were you driving, you'd just get a fine, which I'll pay. The mayor's son was stopped for speeding and tried to make the girl in the car take the blame. He explained, "My license was revoked, and I haven't reinstated it yet. If the police find out I'm driving without a license, I could be prosecuted. Please help me and say you were driving." "Sir, you broke the law. Do you realize that?" Claire didn't know Ethan before. She only met Mia, who was close to shock from appendicitis, on the plane. Using her first aid knowledge, Claire temporarily relieved Mia's pain. After the plane landed, Mia was sent to the hospital. She specifically asked her boyfriend, Ethan, to take Claire to her rental. Now, both of them have been taken to the police station. No matter how the police questioned him, Ethan insisted on his right to remain silent. Meanwhile, Claire was being interrogated in the next room. The arresting officer understood Chinese and had evidence to prosecute Ethan. Claire was also at risk of being charged with obstructing justice. With no other choice, she decided to tell the truth. Ethan was officially arrested. The lawyer said he would file a bail application as soon as possible. If Ethan is convicted, it will not only affect his visa and immigration application, but also damage his mayor father's reputation. After learning of the incident, Mia's father immediately flew to San Francisco. The lawyer stated that the police had already filed a lawsuit with the court. However, until the final verdict is issued, there is still a chance for change, such as the evidence being overturned, or even a witness failing to appear in court. That night, Victor called the mayor to report. The worst-case scenario was a short prison sentence. The mayor instructed that there should be no imprisonment or criminal record. Operations must be carried out without Ethan's knowledge. Claire met Ethan, who was out on bail, at school. She knew Ethan was looking for part-time work. Ethan advised her to sign up on the school website. "I've been feeling a bit uneasy lately. You haven't done anything wrong. There's no need to feel anxious." Before long, Victor's assistant found Claire. He directly requested that Claire change her testimony. Claire hesitated, considering the patrol officer's testimony. However, the assistant said he only had a superficial understanding of Chinese and wasn't sure if he heard correctly. Secretary Ronan promised that as long as Claire agreed to change her testimony, their company would cover her 3 years of study abroad expenses totaling $1 million. For Claire, who relied on scholarships, this temptation was undoubtedly enormous. But as a law student, she couldn't get past her conscience. Seeing that the secretary couldn't reach Claire, Victor realized the bribery had no effect. So, he brought in his daughter, hoping she could persuade Claire. But Mia understood Ethan's temperament. He hated others interfering in his affairs. "So, I hope he wouldn't find out." He said that everything was ready except for Claire's involvement. Mia found Claire to apologize for her father's unilateral decision and presented the request to change her testimony. Claire easily agreed. Ethan didn't understand why Claire agreed, so he wanted to find her to clarify. Ethan happened to see Ronan hand a letter to Claire. "What is this? I'm not quite sure either." Meanwhile, Ethan and Mia were unaware of the secretary's arrival. When Claire saw what was inside the envelope, she immediately understood their intentions. She quickly tried to call Ronan back, but no one answered. Disappointed by what he saw, Ethan left. Ronan was overwhelmed by Claire's barrage of phone calls. However, he underestimated Claire's determination. She spent the whole morning searching and finally located the hotel where Ronan was having lunch with a client. No matter how Ronan pleaded or begged, Claire remained firm about returning the car. "Just consider it for me for 2 days," she insisted. "I can't wait even a minute." With no other choice, Ronan decided to escape and called security. Claire was escorted out by the security guards. Rachel, who was eavesdropping, misunderstood their relationship. "Oh, I get it. This is the real Wong, finally releasing his suppressed self after 30 years, away from home and his wife's control. I've only met you 3 times, and you're already arranging for me to be the mistress of 3 different people." From Rachel's tone, it's clear he's close to Ronan. Claire asked him to return the car, unaware how unreliable this playboy is. The trial soon began. A patrol officer testified about the incident, swearing he heard the defendant ask a woman to take the blame. The lawyer proved Ethan missed traffic fines due to being abroad, resulting in his license suspension. Finally, the lawyer challenged the officer's Chinese proficiency. The judge began questioning witness Claire, but before she could respond, Ethan voluntarily pleaded guilty. The driving student mistook the gas for the brake, slamming into the unsuspecting girl and running over her legs. Seeing the girl lying in a pool of blood, the terrified boy fled the scene. With his mayor father's intervention, the driver Chun was framed as the culprit. But Ethan was tormented by guilt, unwilling to let others suffer for him. You were driving without a license causing serious injury, fled the scene, and conspired to shift blame. You violated criminal law and face 1 to 3 years imprisonment. After serving time with a criminal record, the U.S. Embassy will deny your visa. Your offer letter becomes worthless, and your American dream vanishes. Can you accept these consequences? You can't, right? Then follow my plan. The mayor promised his son he would cover all the injured girls' medical expenses and meet all their compensation demands. From now on, you have no connection to him. Mistakes can't just be erased. Shuche's moral compass shattered at this moment. Losing freedom or money won't ruin a life, but a tarnished reputation could cost you everything. Afterwards, Ethan secretly attended the trial. The girl had suffered such severe injuries that she required amputations below the hips. While everyone thought the matter was over, for 6 years Ethan was tormented by guilt. Seeing the girl struggle in her wheelchair pierced Ethan's heart like a knife. He witnessed her wedding, married to a deaf-mute husband, wearing that standard bridal smile all women have at their weddings. Watching from afar, he thought, if I hadn't made that mistake, she'd at least be happier than this. So 6 years later in court, facing charges of reckless driving and obstruction of justice, he chose not to run anymore. I plead guilty. I would like to thank Officer Shitter for being able to understand my words. As such, I promise to always do what is right, regardless of the consequences necessary. His honesty and courage moved the judge, resulting in only a financial penalty. But back in Yinzhou, the mayor was furious. This would still leave a permanent criminal record. Are you suggesting that before becoming my mother-in-law, she'll first become my stepmother? The girl had just accepted her boyfriend's proposal when she discovered her father was unusually close with her future mother-in-law, considering both parents opposed their marriage. Her suspicion seemed justified, but she's the mayor's wife. Victor wouldn't dare lay a finger on her, even with 10 extra lives to spare. Mia was taken by Victor to a private club, where they met the Greater China CEO of Company C. Victor's objective was clear: to acquire exclusive rights to the core subway carriage manufacturing technology. I can't make guarantees here, but next year's Yinzhou government bid is practically under Wei Ye's control. Her father's words shocked Mia. Victor even secretly placed the mayor's mistress into the company's payroll, asking a friend to give her special treatment, all while monitoring her every move and forbidding her return to China. Faced with his daughter's questioning, Victor came clean. We've known Ethan's parents for years. You understand the implications without me spelling them out. Her father demanded she reject Ethan. Until we secure the subway contract next year, our family's connection must remain secret. If this gets out as collusion between officials and businessmen, both the Changs and the mayor will face unbearable consequences. Mia abandoned the blissfully unaware Ethan, sending him a heartbreaking apology text. She drove to a motel, her swollen eyes and exhausted appearance making the owner's wife ache with sympathy. She eyed the young man who followed her with suspicion. His name was Ming, who had secretly loved her for 4 years. He came to San Francisco to witness her wedding with his own eyes, hoping it would finally kill his unrequited love. That night, she drowned her sorrows at a bar, downing hard liquor shot after shot until collapsing into unconsciousness. A suspicious man claiming to be her colleague attempted to take her away. The bartender hesitated, uncertain whether to intervene. You can't take her away. No, yes, I can. She's my friend. Come away. No, tell me her name. I'm not telling you. The bartender checked Mia's purse for ID. Tell me her name, he challenged the man, who couldn't answer but kept making trouble, threatening to call the police. The bartender finally threw him out. This became a gap in her memory. For a long time afterward, she'd never know how she safely returned to her hotel that night. The mayor's wife was shopping with her son when she spotted the woman she despised. You're in America? Why shouldn't I be? Though she knew the answer, she still needed to hear it confirmed. But the woman's defiant stance said everything. Stay out of my life, the mayor's wife warned, or I'll make you disappear. The woman just mocked. How scary. The mayor's wife had sworn to take this secret to her grave, until her son witnessed her humiliation. Years of pent-up anguish came pouring out. This child would ruin us if born. A living bomb harder to hide than any mistress. The mayor thought he had everything under control, never expecting Kathy's cunning. Now he must first pacify his wife before making new plans. The mayor gripped his wife's shoulders. We're bound forever. No one can tear us apart. She swallowed her humiliation, then told their son, that woman and her child mean nothing to your father. But they underestimated Ethan's determination. He tracked down Kathy for answers. Is that child your half-brother? She admitted. She'd kept the pregnancy secret, refusing to fade away overseas like some discarded mistress. His father's image shattered before him. But Ethan had another purpose, to determine how much Mia's father knew. Was Victor behind everything in America? Every detail, she confirmed. Even how you met my father. Yes. After Victor and Lucas connected, Kathy became their go-between to maintain deniability. But regarding Ethan and Mia's relationship, Kathy admitted, Victor didn't orchestrate that. He merely rode your coattails to reach the mayor. Ethan's calm surprised her. Aren't you angry? Won't you defend your mother? Or at least curse me? Will my anger change anything? Ethan replied coldly. He knew Mia had discovered the truth, yet chose compliance. The ultimate betrayal he could never forgive. It's over between us. Completely. Chung-Wei arrived with cleanup orders. He offered $2 million to terminate the pregnancy, but Lu Tsaichi stood firm. This child stays. Her defiance would cost her dearly. Confirming the problem was resolved, Victor reported to the mayor with relief. Kathy knew the car crash was no accident, but never imagined Lucas would kill his own unborn child. The last thread between them snapped. With the problem handled, Victor met Ethan privately. He shouldered all blame. Profit drives business. That's law. This is how Weiye survives in our dog-eat-dog world. In this system, bribes flow both ways naturally. Why are you the only exception? Ethan couldn't change their ways, but refused to conform. Victor made one final plea. If I clean up this mess, will you reconsider Mia? Just a father's request. I won't destroy my daughter's happiness. Ethan walked away without turning back, until her name stopped him cold. You wanted my baby dead. Days later, the accident came. She spat, clutching her lifeless womb. Coincidence, he scoffed. Mad with grief, Kathy lunged for Victor's throat, bodyguards wrestling her down. Enough tragedy. Victor snapped. Take her home. Get a psychiatrist to assess this madness. The depravity stunned even Ethan. Mia, no longer blind to her father's sins, renounced her Weiye Group inheritance and moved out immediately. Ethan dissolved his company, returning every penny of their $1.7 million investment. His mother fumed at the decision, but they all knew. The company's survival meant endless dirty money would keep flowing in. I won't be my father's bribery conduit. $20 million is trivial. His mother countered. Trivial. Ethan fired back. Millions or billions. Only the scale differs. The corruption stays the same. His mother knew Victor's crimes, even approved the deliberate harm. His parents' image shattered completely. Now Kathy lived under surveillance, diagnosed with persecution delusions after losing her child. Kathy revealed everything to Leo. I wasn't his mistress. This child wasn't his. But the real father holds power over you all, a high-ranking official controlling your fates. The name shocked Leo into belief. Since discovering his father's corruption, Ethan agonized between justice and family loyalty. Lucas, fearing his son's interference, ordered a 1-year leave. Return after the subway deal closes. But Ethan refused, delivering an impassioned declaration of independence. What exactly is this independence you speak of? His father retorted. You spend my money yet constantly defy me. Do you think obedience erases your identity? That rebellion alone defines you. Come talk freedom when you need nothing from me. To prove himself, Ethan vowed to never take family money again. Claire helped him land a job, escorting Chinese parents on U.S. school tours. Day 1, the mayor's spoiled son became a luggage handler. The boy refused Chinese food abroad, demanding burgers instead. I can't abandon the group for one person, Ethan insisted. Grace, take him. It's just a quick trip. What's the big deal? Actually, Ethan advised, burgers aren't real Western food, just unhealthy fast food. Eat less, it's better for you. None of your business. He made the boy order alone. Future international students must learn to speak up. The boy snapped. Don't you know we're paying your salary? Service me properly. Ethan finally snapped. Service doesn't mean servitude. All people, regardless of race, wealth, or status, are equal. You have no right to treat anyone as beneath you. But his intervention backfired. The father stormed in. Parenting is our job, not some tour guides. You think you can handle the psychological damage to my son? We pay top dollar for service, not lectures. These parents acted like American universities were their personal playgrounds, buying degrees, not educations, with no thought for their children's futures. Ethan's warnings fell on deaf ears. Can education make talent? The father scoffed. At your level, 10 years won't get you to where we are. Dare to job hunt in China. See if anyone rolls out the red carpet. For elites like you, this privilege, beyond your parents' reach, is called losing at the starting line. Swallowing his pride, Ethan delivered them to their hotel, only for them to demand a casino trip, flashing $200 like royal favor. I need rest, he declined. By morning, the travel agency summoned him. Apologize to all, or you're fired. They called Claire too, ranting about his arrogance and meddling. To spare Claire further trouble, Ethan returned to apologize, only to hear, he is mayor's son. Disgusted by the revelation, he watched their instant transformation. See, tomorrow they'll be kissing your feet. Claire's prediction came true overnight. By dawn, the tour group waited eagerly. No prompting needed. Had breakfast. We brought you some. Eat while it's hot. You've lost weight. Thanks. Ready to go. Absolutely. Kathy's rage softened under Lu Ming's love. She accepted his proposal, dreaming of peace, until Victor trapped him into stealing subway tech, then betrayed them at the exchange. I never break the law in business, Victor declared. Take this back today, and we'll pretend nothing happened. As Elio puzzled over this sudden change, Victor handed the recorded evidence to the police. By dusk, Elio was arrested for corporate espionage. Kathy's life was once again ruined by them. She wrote a letter officially reporting the mayor of Yinzhou and Weiye Group for collusion between officials and businesses. We receive a complaint letter sent from San Francisco, USA. The letter exposes officials and businessmen of significant status. Until there is solid evidence, the prosecutor's office can only act in secret. So, Henry flew to San Francisco under the pretext of visiting his daughter. However, Claire sensed that things weren't that simple with her father's arrival. Driven by curiosity, she decided to follow him. That was Kathy. Did father come to San Francisco just to see her? And why did he deliberately hide this from me? What is his purpose in secretly meeting Kathy? The evidence Kathy has is enough for the prosecutor's office to start an investigation. But that's not enough. What else do you need? They require recordings, videos, emails, and texts exchanged between you and them. Also, proof of deposits in foreign banks you managed, transfer records, and so on. I need time to gather and organize the information. Henry hopes Kathy can return to the country soon. He gave Kathy a private contact number. She was instructed to memorize the number and then burn it. However, Kathy developed severe anxiety. She needed to take a lot of medication just to sleep. When she woke up, She found her home ransacked. In a panic, she decided to call the police. But the police found no evidence of a break-in. You think I did this, but I forgot, right? You think I'm a psycho? Ridiculous. But soon, another terrifying scene unfolded. Blood dripped on the floor, the knife on the kitchen counter, and the wounds on her hands all confirmed the police's assessment. The doctor suspected it was a side effect of the medication. It's too horrible. I may kill myself someday. The doctor advised her to install a home surveillance system and to find a trusted friend to stay with her during the treatment period. Kathy hired a private bodyguard from a security company. He immediately took a liking to the Chinese-American, Andy Wu. The mayor met with Victor upon hearing the news. Kathy's evidence was their biggest threat. How can we make sure this evidence disappears? If there are no witnesses, the evidence won't exist. Kathy sensed something was wrong. She was eager to give the evidence to Henry. Unfortunately, he wouldn't fly to San Francisco for another week. With Lucas's connections, she needed a very reliable person to safeguard it. So, Henry thought of his daughter, Claire. You must keep it safe and confidential. Don't tell anyone, especially Ethan. Claire felt torn, but knew that her father wouldn't put her in such danger unless absolutely necessary. The next day, Kathy met Claire as planned. After checking her passport, she suddenly asked, "Do you know a Chinese student named Ethan? He also studies at Stanford." "I don't know him." After confirming it was safe, Kathy finally entrusted the evidence to her. However, neither of them knew that this would be their last conversation. Feeling relieved, Kathy planned to take a shower and get a good night's sleep. She saw the bodyguard, Andy, return on the surveillance and felt more at ease. "You left the face mask you wanted on the table. Okay. Is there anything else you need?" "Nothing else. You can go rest now." However, Andy, barefoot, quietly approached the bathroom. By the time Kathy noticed, it was too late. He didn't give her a chance to call for help. He drowned her in the bathtub. Afterward, he meticulously cleaned the scene, removing all traces of human involvement and replacing Kathy's notebook. With the evidence in hand, Claire felt anxious. She declined Ethan's dinner invitation and only remembered later that it was her birthday. Claire made a wish, hoping Ethan would always be as happy as he was that night and would never get hurt. "Don't touch my things." Claire apologized to Ethan for her overreaction. Given her recent mixed signals, Ethan wondered what he had done wrong. "I'm sure you're hiding something from me. I can take on anything because I love you." As feelings deepened, Claire fully devoted herself to Ethan, unwilling to think about the future, wanting only to immerse herself in the happiness of the moment. However, things did not go as she wished. The news of Kathy's death shocked Ethan. Terrified by the implications, Claire locked herself in the bathroom, torn between justice and love. If the hard drive was destroyed, all evidence would vanish. Would Ethan then remain happy? Father Henry was furious. "You're with a suspect's son while carrying serious evidence. Leave him in half an hour and don't contact him again." Awakened by his words, Claire cleaned the hard drive, put it in her bag, and waited for her father's contact to pick her up. Claire told Ethan she needed to go to Los Angeles to visit a friend and reminded him to take care of himself. "Why do I feel like you're saying goodbye for good?" he joked. "Don't say that." Soon, the car from the U.S. Embassy arrived. Claire carefully confirmed their credentials. Claire answered Ethan's call one last time. He gave her detailed reminders to message him once she arrived safely. To ensure the safety of evidence, Claire turned off her phone as her father instructed, cutting off all contact. Soon, Henry arrived at the embassy and, seeing his daughter safe, let out a long sigh of relief. Claire's sudden disappearance left Ethan perplexed. He had someone check flights to Los Angeles and found no record of her ticket. Based on the California police's conclusion of suicide, Henry began to doubt the cause of Kathy's death. Claire's words further supported this suspicion. Henry felt a sense of dread. Their supposedly airtight investigation had already been compromised by an insider who sold information to Lucas. The real surveillance footage would inevitably expose Claire. As someone on the front lines of anti-corruption, Henry decided to protect his daughter by having her stay with her mother. "From now on, you won't leave my side. You're coming back to the country with me tomorrow. Once we're back, you can't stay at home. You'll need 24-hour security. Ethan reported Claire's disappearance to the California police. They discovered that the car that picked her up had entered the embassy, prompting inquiries through diplomatic channels about her whereabouts. Henry requested protection from the California police, citing threats to his personal safety, and asked them to keep Claire's location confidential. Ethan searched everywhere she might have gone and questioned everyone connected to her, but still found not a trace of her. Claire could only watch from a distance, knowing that from the moment she decided to protect the evidence, they had become two parallel lines with no chance of intersecting again. As expected, Claire came into Victor's sight. He instinctively felt that the item Kathy had was a ticking time bomb that could destroy them. "Give me a background check on her," he ordered. "The more detailed, the better." The moment Victor discovered Claire's identity, he knew the situation was dire. He packed his things to escape abroad, but was quickly apprehended by the police, who were already on alert. By the time Ethan received the news and rushed home, his parents had already been taken by the police. Ethan met his father's defense lawyer and learned that his father had confessed, taking full responsibility. His mother would be released once verified. He then went to Peking University Law School, where a professor helped him access Claire's file. He realized she had taken her mother's surname, but her mother could share nothing beyond Claire's safety. As the investigation deepened, Ethan's Tianyuan technology was also implicated. Claire, as the company's financial officer, handled all contracts with Weiye subsidiaries. She could prove that after Ethan refunded the investment, he disregarded everyone's opposition and shut down the company. In the final stages of the investigation, Ethan chose to protect his father. "Does your dad know about this? If he does, what's his stance?" "He doesn't know." "Are you sure?" "I'm sure." Henry informed Claire that, as the prosecution's key witness, he would need to testify at least twice. The first time to confirm the authenticity of Kathy's evidence, and the second time as Tianyuan's financial officer. "Why do I have to testify?" "Because no one else can prove Ethan is lying. If he claims his dad is unaware, that will affect Lucas's sentencing." "Are you asking me to turn his trust and reliance on me into testimony against him?" Claire resisted her father's plan, not wanting to completely destroy her relationship with Ethan. 6 months later, Ethan finally saw the person he had longed for at his father's trial. He also learned the reason for her sudden disappearance. "I confirm that the evidence Kathy handed to me on the day of her death has been submitted intact to the judicial authorities." Claire's appearance answered Ethan's doubts and revealed all the truths behind the fog. Now, he only wanted to know if Claire's closeness was premeditated. However, Mia thought of something even more terrifying: the true reason for Kathy's death. The truth is that Kathy did not die accidentally. She was murdered. Only Claire could prove that Kathy did not die by accident. Henry did not want to force her daughter. If she didn't want to, she could refuse to appear in court tomorrow. But after a night of struggle, Claire still arrived at the courthouse on time. Claire, the moment she saw Rachel charging at her with a knife, she made no attempt to avoid it. In fact, she felt grateful for his completion of this act. During her period of unconsciousness, the mayor, Lucas, was convicted of corruption and bribery. Under multiple charges, he and Victor would spend the rest of their lives in prison. One morning, after everything settled, Ethan disappeared from everyone's sight. He left decisively, abandoning his studies, career, family, and the love that had been destroyed twice by interest and justice. Mia took over her father's position and became the chairperson of Weiye. She diligently worked to get the group's business back on track. "Go to America and help me with something." "What is it?" "Find Kathy's grave, buy a bouquet, and pay my respects to her. I will spend the rest of my life making it up to her." As for Rachel's love for Claire, after that knife plunged in, he completely let it go. It's only been 3 years. Once you get out, you can reset all the past mistakes. Your life can start anew. Besides, you still have me. At that moment, Rachel had never felt such regret for his past decisions. Claire returned to America to continue her unfinished studies, but Ethan's shadow lingered in every familiar corner. She never gave up searching for him. Her father helped check the immigration records, and after learning that his last known location was Cambodia, Claire applied for an internship with the United Nations in Phnom Penh. While working, she also inquired about Ethan's whereabouts. Finally, she found a clue through a friend. They trekked through mountains and rainforests, guided by locals, until they discovered a wooden cabin. It was only when Claire saw the shirt with the Stanford emblem that she was certain she had finally found him. Ethan remained silent, merely giving his bed to Claire, but she stubbornly pulled his arm and lay down beside him, disregarding his resistance. "No matter what you doubt, don't doubt my love for you." In that moment, all of Ethan's grievances erupted. After releasing his emotions, Ethan returned to his usual cheerful self, as if nothing had happened. They spent 6 happy months together. However, when Claire's internship ended, no matter how she pleaded, Ethan was unwilling to return to the country with her. Some hurdles he ultimately couldn't overcome. 3 years later, Claire became a partner at a law firm. Today was the day for interviewing interns. "You studied in America for how many years?" 8 years.